Not only welcome to the Wicked Radio live stream, all part of Wicked Wisdom with Bill Adams, let me be the first, if nobody else has yet today, welcome you to the first day of summer. Now, I know that means more to people in the northern states. You've lived with snow and cold and wet and rain through a lot of months. Where I am in Florida, it seems like one long season. But still, great opportunity for us to take the longest day of the year, which this is with the summer solstice, and do something special with it. Yes, I'm going to get corny and philosophical on you today, but I don't care. But we'll talk about that as well. We got some breaking news. Breaking news. And this is the one I was waiting for. This is the one. Trump's 2-week negotiating window for Iran is working in record time already. This, which is proof positive. You can't listen to all the misinformation from the media that has told you about what they think he's thinking about this, because we've never dealt with anybody in the White House like that, ever. Not even Reagan as a negotiator. We'll talk about that as well. And we've got our latest insane plane passenger incident. This one's an all-timer, though, because, well, it's got it all. An insane incident on a Southwest flight. What you're going to learn about her is something else, but there's a different way to look at this now. I think we've seen enough of these now to think it's nothing new. I think it's just the latest to be captured. Maybe they've always been like this. Anyway, we'll get to it all. But first and foremost, thanks for being here and thanks for finding. Whether you're watching this in the replay a little bit later on or you're watching live, welcome here. Thanks for the follows and likes and all that good stuff. And don't forget on the audio podcast, make sure you download so you get the notifications when it is posted, which is a few minutes after the live stream wraps up and all that good stuff. And furthermore, all right, now that the business is out of the way, let's get to the philosophical stuff. It's the first day of summer. This is great. And like I said, this means a hell of a lot more to you if you're in a northern state or a cold state or somewhere where you got to deal with nasty winter conditions, which I haven't had to do for a long time now. And I will tell you, I don't think I'm tough enough to deal with that now. I'd like to be a snowbird, but being in Florida, you really, truly do take for granted the weather, where it's just going to be hot for the most time, but it's mostly beautiful. So summer arriving is a bigger deal for the cold states, and I totally get that. But technically, summer officially starts today. That means it's the longest day of the year. Summer solstice tonight, 10:42 p.m., and that after this weekend, that means the days are going to get shorter and shorter, obviously, whatever. But today is the longest day of the year. Do you notice that it's longer than the other days? Not really. It's just really kind of like a kicking off point. But let me throw this at you. I'll just throw this in there. There's no better time. It might as well be today. Don't waste today, right? This is the philosophical, corny part, but it matters. It matters. This is smart. Use today as an opportunity to do something for you. It can be anything, obviously. If you want to sit on the TV, in front of the TV all day and eat ice cream, fine, that's for you too. But do something today that you've wanted to do that you put off. Use this first day of summer as an excuse to do it. After the workday, you don't have to play hooky, whatever it is, but you do have more daylight hours to get done what you wanted to get done. Start a plan, start a system, start something to get it done. Because if you don't start at some point today, and today might as well be the day, you're going to start getting into, well, I've got this work project to do. Yeah, but I have to study for finals. Well, I have to do this other thing. Well, I got the kids' baseball games. Just give yourself permission today to take one time out for something you've been putting off that you know is going to improve your life, and do it today. Trust me, start a system in place, and that's how the momentum starts, where you actually get that done. Anything can be build something, fix something, do something, work out, start a plan, anything. But do something for you today, because I got a pretty good idea now who the audience is for this live stream as it grows, who you are. Hardworking people that sacrifice for other people, either in your family or other people, or you volunteer or whatever it is. Just today, just listen to me today. And do something for you that you've been putting off that you want to do. I'm off my soapbox. I'm off my preaching box, but trust me, that'll pay off. All right, let's get to it. We got a little bit of breaking news. To Reuters. And this is one of those, and I know you get like Reuters, AP, all the mainstream media sources. I get it. The working operating system right now, which is good, is for most of us not to trust what they're saying. This is one of those cases where you kind of can, because it's such big news. They don't want to lie about it, and they're trying to get it out there first. So I do believe it when they say this. This one is from Reuters, but it's all over the place. And this may change by the time you're listening to this later or watching it later. Who knows? But as of right now, on Friday morning, two Reuters senior Iranian official speaking to that news organization says Iran is ready to discuss limitations on its uranium enrichment. Hold on now. Let's put together the timeline. Trump administration opens up a 2-week negotiating window yesterday, and within 24 hours, Iran reportedly now ready to discuss limitations on its uranium enrichment. Isn't that interesting? You know what this tells us? And who knows where this is going to go? This still may fall apart. We still may be wind up, bombing the hell out of Iran at the end of the 2 weeks with Israel, or maybe Israel does it itself. I don't know. But what this tells me is everything we've heard so far, what are we, 2 weeks into this thing really escalating? Maybe a week and a half. Everything the mainstream media has tried to tell you about what Trump is thinking, who he's listening to. And it's not only the media, it's other voices too. All these supposed pundits on the left and the right. This isn't a left and right thing. They're all saying Trump should do this, Trump should do that. You don't know what this guy is thinking. And I think the confusion is coming from we've never had anybody like that in the White House, ever. We never, not even Reagan, who was a great negotiator, but not like this guy. Not at all. One perfect example of this has been the divide, and people are all upset and all worked up, right? Remember yesterday we were talking about the Iran plan is starting to congeal. We were all starting to agree that nobody wants them to have a nuke, but we do disagree on how to go about it, blah, 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 right? Here's the perfect example of that. Within the same week, he was holding court with Lindsey Graham, of all people, and you know Lindsey Graham is like, boots on the ground now, we got to take it over, we got to install, we got to make it another state, we got to... That's, the definition of a war pig, that guy, right? To yesterday, Trump held court with Steve Bannon, who's telling him not to get involved whatsoever. Let's remember what Trump is. This is a guy that listens to everybody and considers all their opinions. Doesn't mean he's going to be influenced by any of them either possible way. And somehow over the past couple of weeks, we all forgot this. He listens to everybody, and nobody knows what he's thinking. Everybody likes to pretend they are, but they're not. So the people you should listen to the least in this are the media outlets who are telling you who's in Trump's ear and what's happening and what he's going to decide, because you don't know. The only thing we do know are the official statements from the White House itself. And here's the other voice that's happening in this. He's not being forthcoming with America's attack plans or lack of plans for Iran. You think they're going to tell us? Really? Use your heads here. Here's an official statement, though. This is the announcement of the 2-week window, and I will tell you, this is the one I was waiting for. Throughout all of this, I kept thinking to myself, didn't say it out loud and didn't say it in public or on here, and I said, he's going to announce some sort of extension, and there's going to be some sort of a window where all of the pressure, but opportunity in the opening is in Iran's hands. Lo and behold, here it was.
Now, regarding the ongoing situation in Iran, I know there has been a lot of speculation amongst all of you in the media regarding the president's decision-making and whether or not the United States will be directly involved. In light of that news, I have a message directly from the president, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks." That's a quote directly from the president for all of you today.
Within 24 hours of that announcement. Now I'm looking at it now. Every news organization in the world has it. Iranian officials willing to discuss a downgrade in their uranium thing. Look, I don't care at this point whether people voted for Trump. They didn't. He's the American president right now. And if this, I'm telling you, if this winds up being they de-escalate their nuke program instead of the previous administrations who were funding it. Remember that? We'll give you billions of dollars in cash if you promise not to launch nukes or develop that program. Right. Like they're going to listen to that. Well, that didn't work. If this works without any shot, at least from the U.S., being fired or anything else and no more violence, and this thing de-escalates, this is one of the greatest coups of all time as far as negotiating coups. And who knows? This may be different in 5 minutes. I don't know, but it's starting to happen. That's exactly why you can't listen to people who claim to know what he's thinking. And that includes a lot of conservative MAGA influencers. They don't know. And all of this news that came out this week too. The MAGA base is divided. They don't know. This is why I said it yesterday. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not divided. The media would love to tell you it's divided. Just everybody wants to figure out what's going on. A lot of clarity came today with this 2-week negotiating window. See where it goes from here. It may fall apart. I don't know. But the ball's in Iran's court. But the people who claim to think they know what Trump's thinking, even if they're your favorite politicians or MAGA, conservative, whatever the hell you want to call it, influencers, they don't know. He listens to everybody. This isn't the kind of president we've had before. It's a completely different ballgame. But now you've got the dumbest of the dumb people on television completely in a tizzy. I hate to do this to you, but it's a great example. So in America's best comedy show, which is The View, it really is. This is the funniest thing you could ever watch. You can't watch too much of it because it'll melt your brain. This Whoopi Goldberg on The View actually made an argument yesterday. I didn't watch this live. I saw it going viral, just like maybe you did, but you avoided it because you're like, I can't listen to her. But there's some, I don't know her name, but there's some co-host on The View who has Iranian heritage. And she's trying to talk sense into Whoopi, telling her, you can't make this argument that America in many ways is as bad as Iran. That's insane. But like Whoopi always does, and you'll run into people like this who have no clue what they're talking about. They always, listen to the end of this clip, they always wind up saying, well, I can't talk any sense into you. They always think they're smarter than you are when they have nothing else to say, when they know that what they're saying is based in absolutely nothing. I hate to do it to you, but listen to this nonsense on The View yesterday. You actually have people in the American left media trying to tell you that we're just as bad as Iran now. This is where they are. This wasn't the only one. This argument actually popped up on MSNBC as well. Here it is.
Nobody wants to diminish the very real problems we have in this country. That is no one's intent.
Good.
But I think it's important we remember there are places much darker than this country and people who deserve rights.
Not everybody feels that way. Not everybody feels that way. Listen, I'm sorry. You know, when you think about the fact that we got the vote in 1965.
Okay, they don't have free and fair elections in Iran. It's not even the same universe.
They can't go out of their house. The women.
You know what? There's no way I can make you understand.
No, let me try
It happens you'll run it. How many people do you know like this? Let me ask you honestly. How many people do you know at work or in your office, family, I hope not, who do the exact same thing? They're convinced they know what it is. They're convinced. They come out with some outlandish argument that our society is just as bad as Iran's. I mean, say that out loud and hear how insane it is. Then when she's presented with facts with somebody that actually knows, it always winds up the same thing. You will run into people like this all the time, and it's a telltale sign. You know what? There's no way I can convince you otherwise. There's just no way. The dumbest people are always convinced that they're smarter than you. 100% of the time. Always happens. Always. Don't listen to them. They know nothing. The other takeaway on this, the sign is, there are people that wanted Trump to fail in the Iran policy so badly, they're in a complete tizzy. If this winds up in peace, as anybody with common sense wants, they're going to have a complete meltdown because it makes Trump look good. Guarantee it. And it's starting to. That's why Whoopi's melting down. Speaking of meltdowns, well, we've got our latest Southwest passenger meltdown. This one happened on Tuesday, and now we're starting to get the information about who was actually behind this entire thing, who it actually was, and what happened. But this one kicked up a little bit. This one's an all-timer, though. This is a New York City artist. Found out about her and some of her mindset. She's worked with some major brands, though. Hasn't been fired from those brands yet, but she was arrested and taken off a Southwest flight on Tuesday. She berated a woman who was seated near her. You might have seen the video. The clip is kind of outstanding, and it kind of made the news because of how outlandish it is. She actually grabs the lady's hair and won't let go. You'll hear that in the clip. And then some of the stuff she's saying is just insane. Passengers and flight attendants intervene, which is interesting. That seems to be the norm now. Remember back in the day flying, probably pre-9/11, if you're old enough to remember that. Like passengers, you would never get involved. You would sit in your seat and behave and just, those days are over. You always have passengers popping up and helping flight attendants now. Name is Leanna Perry. She's 32 years old. 32 years on this earth, and she hasn't figured out how to have a couple of drinks and not go out of her mind because she was drunk. They determined that. Then she allegedly, get this, spat in the woman's face as she was being zip-tied. As she's being zip-tied, she's spitting in the lady's face. Here's part of the tirade recorded by one of the passengers. You can pick any of like 50 videos you want because everybody whips out their phones these days, mostly for evidence. Here's what this nice lady sounds like.
Let go of her hair.
Y'all see me. You know what's going on.
Put her on
She's
the ground.
retarded. Yeah, put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. Look at this fat lady. Look at this fat. She can't even look. You can't even see her stomach. It's horrible. Look at her outfit. Look at this fat. Hilarious. You can't even show your mouth because you're embarrassed.
That's while she's being zip-tied, and she won't let go of the lady's hair. Now, a couple of things here, and this is unfortunate, but I've kind of, ever since I saw this video, probably yesterday morning, I think the first time I saw it, you're probably the same way. I always go, because there's some sort of husband or boyfriend or something involved in this too, of the lady who's getting her hair pulled. It's a tough scene. It's a tough situation because you can't let anybody grab let's call her the wife. You can't let anybody grab your wife's hair. You can't do that and allow that. I can't imagine a scenario where I wouldn't at least punch this lady in the face. I mean, and you're probably gonna get arrested too when you do that, which sucks. Whole flight's gonna get delayed for everybody, which sucks. All because this drunk idiot decided to get nasty and start throwing punches, spitting in a lady's face, grabbing her hair while she's getting and then getting zip tied. But you can't let somebody do that. You can't. This is why it's such a tough situation, because the lunatics like that have gotten away with it so long. Which brings me to this. I think we're at the point now where everybody says, "What's wrong with passengers? What's wrong with people? What happened to passengers? Why is everybody like this these days?" Here's another way to look at it. I think this makes more sense, and it might make you feel better about this situation. Certainly flying. I think possibly we've always been like this, but every incident is caught on video now. Just think about it. Just consider that possibility. What if we've always been like this? And I'm sure there have been situations like this before in the past. Everything is caught on video now. We see almost everything these days. In some cases, that's good. But if you're thinking that all of society is falling apart, no, there's always been nasty people like this. So you can't let that stop you from living your life. But you also can't let somebody like that do that to your family member, significant other. It's a tough call. It really is. But you can't allow that to happen. You just can't. All right. I'm out of material, and you have a summer to begin. It's Friday. Have a wicked awesome Friday. And again, I'll stand by this. It's goofy and corny, but I think it matters. Today's the longest day of the year. There's no better time than today to do something for you that you've been putting off. Build something, fix something, start a system, start a program. Everybody wants a piece of your time. Everybody. We all go through it. Just take today as an excuse. First day of summer, longest day of the year. Do it for you. Second takeaway, as far as news goes, don't listen to anybody, anyone in the media. That may include some of your favorite personalities or may include some of your favorite politicians who claims to know what Trump is thinking, because they don't. And this 2-week peace plan idea that they launched yesterday, it's proof positive of that. Trust me on this one. Thanks for following and sharing along and all that good stuff. It's at Wicked Bill Adams, Wicked Wisdom with Bill Adams, and all the social media platforms and the podcast wherever you like to get those as well. Usually posted a few minutes after the live stream wraps up. You got to download on that, so make sure you get the new episodes as well. Monday through Friday. Oh, and by the way, just a programming note, going to add a lot more quick little mindset videos on the social media platforms, including X as well here, coming up in the future. So that's coming as well. But I appreciate your time as always. Make it a wicked awesome day. With all that said, have a great weekend. Make it great. We'll talk to you later.